Welcome. What's going on, guys? Tuesday night, July 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern. We all know it's time for Comic News Weekly. Have some great topics to discuss tonight. We're basically recapping Marvel and Warner Brothers from San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of great information specifically about Marvel. I think a large chunk of our show tonight, we're going to talk about that Marvel Hall H and all the great content, news, trailers, everything that came out of that. I mean, Marvel brought it in a big way, and we're going to discuss that on this show tonight. Warner Brothers, they brought a little bit. We'll get into that too. We also have a little bit of Spider-Man comic book news that's coming out tomorrow's issue of Amazing Spider-Man. And then, of course, we have a surprise topic from one of the panelists and Mr. Ryan Hayslip. We'll get into that. We don't know what it is yet. And as always, if you have a topic that you want to discuss in this show, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. We'll be sure to bring it up in a future episode, or maybe it might be Ryan's topic tonight. But either way, let's get this panelist in here. We have, it's no longer the amazing with, we have Beyond Wednesdays with Brian McClay because he hit that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. And like he said he would do, he changed the name. Link to that channel is in the description of this video. Brian McClay, come on in here.
Ooh-wee, man. What a celebration weekend, man, for hitting 1,000 subs. I did it up right.
Yeah, I know.
Went to San Diego.
Putting the description stuff in here, and I was like, "Oh, I got to change the link." He got those 1,000 subscribers, so congratulations to that.
Thank you, brother.
Very well deserved. It's just the first 1,000 of a lot of thousands. So, I'm right now like that. What is that? The Mayhem commercial. My videos get tens and tens of views. But yeah, so congratulations to that.
Thank you, brother.
We also have Mr. Rhinoverse. He's all over. He's got his YouTube channel. I got the link to his YouTube channel in the description of this video, but you can also find him on Facebook and Instagram under Rhinoverse. We have Mr. Ryan Hayslip.
Surprise! It ain't Ryan tonight. It's Venom. I got a weird voice from the movies. I don't know. I got cough.
It's like a bobblehead Pez dispenser.
Yeah, I found this cool Pez dispenser. Went over into it in the Hobby Lobbies. And I was like, you go into Hobby Lobby, you're going to come out with something you didn't intend to go in for. I thought it was pretty cool, though, my little buddy.
Yeah, except on Sundays.
Yeah, exactly. I found that out this weekend, actually. Do you know that?
It's always like, I want Chick-fil-A, and then, check out Hobby Lobby. Oh, it's Sunday. Damn it.
It's hilarious because we went to, I call it the indoor zoo, which is basically like PetSmart with the kids because it's cool and it's not like hot being in the zoo. And next door I was like, I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby, pick up some space ice cream, and I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A and get me one of those peach milkshakes. No.
Yeah,
only half of the plan came through.
Yeah, but let's not wait any longer. Last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Comic Man Andy, the producer behind the scenes who keeps this show going, and it's been going almost as long as his beard. Not quite, but Mr. Comic Man Andy, come on down.
Oh, what's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's good to be back. But Brian, buddy, I got a question for you first.
What's that?
What do you call a medieval spy?
I don't know.
I think that one's called surveillance.
Ooh. I heard one dad joke the other day, but I've forgotten it because I'm your dad. I can't remember shit. But so yeah, I mean, a lot of news came out within San Diego Comic-Con this week. We could sit here and take 3 hours to discuss all the great stuff that came out of there. Brian, you made it. You're getting a little con crud going on, so we're gonna try to keep your talking to a minimum. So I said that wrong, but
I hear you, brother.
Because we know you're not feeling that well. You can talk as much as you want.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, did you enjoy your experience?
Oh man, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool people. Enjoyed a little bit of the con, but most of it was outside of the con at the little after parties and bars. And I spent most of my time with Big Leg. You guys know how he rolls. He's a nut. And yeah, we'll talk more about it on Saturday night. So make sure you guys come check out the show Saturday night. But it was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Definitely big shout out to Big Leg. Big shout out to Dinesh, who you met
Yeah.
there as well. Big shout out to Big Clutch from
Oh, yeah.
Skybound.
Clutch
and big
did
shout
me.
out to Drew from Wanted Comics, who was texting me shit about my Giants getting swept by the Dodgers all weekend. So wasn't
Yeah.
fun, but always great conversation with Drew, with great people. That's the great thing about cons. I enjoy the people, meeting up with people and all that stuff actually more than I do a lot of the time being in the con and buying stuff. It's a great time to meet up with people, have some adult Kool-Aids and have a good time, and then come back and lick your wounds after. But speaking of, first topic tonight, Marvel came to Hall H, and I mean, they came shot out of a cannon, right? There's so much there. They announced basically phase 5, and then we got phase 6 coming, starting with that Fantastic Four, but a bunch of Avengers news, a bunch of Disney Plus news. My personal favorite, of course, been excited about it, talked about it a bunch of times. My 2 movies I'm looking forward to is the new Guardians, but more so, we got that teaser trailer for Wakanda Forever. I've watched the trailer probably about 50 times just because that Tim's Kendrick Lamar mashup song that's in there, the No Woman, No Cry, and Kendrick Lamar's All Right, it just sets the tone. I miss Chadwick Boseman, and you could tell that they do like in memoriam type style for him in that movie. But huge, excited to see that. And then there's also rumors going around because there's the shot of Black Panther in the trailer. Before we get into the other stuff that was announced in Hall H, what did you guys think of the Wakanda Forever trailer? And then also, who do you think it's going to be Shuri like the comic books, or do you think it's going to be someone else that shows up as Black Panther?
I think that we're going to get a little bit of both. I think that we're definitely going to get a Killmonger dream sequence, or what do they call that, where they go in, where they eat the forbidden fruit and go into the dream world. I think we're going to get that. I think Shuri is probably going to be the one that goes into that world trying to find T'Challa to get, information from T'Challa, and she's going to run into Killmonger. I really hope that we get Killmonger as Black Panther. I think that that's the definitely best play, and have Shuri be like, a version of a Black Panther, but the Black Panther main one that they do all the stuff, maybe Killmonger. But I think we're going to get both.
Yeah, and I mean, now that we've been talking about it for a while, we have talked about the movie, but we're also getting Ironheart in Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
So that's going to be a big reveal, big setup. I've heard mixed opinions on Namor. Of course, a lot of people are complaining that he's not Marvel ripped. He's not in Marvel superhero shape, and I'm excited a lot for this movie. We got so much going on in there, but not just Wakanda Forever. I mean, what else did you guys see coming out of this whole H? It's almost too much to grasp, because it just kept hitting you with. I mean, I think Facebook, Twitter, everything, every 2 minutes was just like boom, 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 boom when this Hall H announcement was going on with Marvel. We're getting 2 Avengers movies. Kevin Feige had just like recently said there's no more Avengers movies in the MCU. And then we're getting Secret Wars and Kang. But what stuck out, Andy, what stuck out from you most from this Marvel Hall H announcements?
Right here. Timing was perfect tonight. Well, actually, no, I was thinking Daredevil, but yeah, I fooled you there.
Well, he's going to be an Echo, right? Matt Murdock
Right.
and Kingpin are an Echo. But you're getting an 18 episode.
Yes, Daredevil. And we got to look at the timelines here a little bit, right? We got to look at what it's going to take to do Daredevil, what they have for this phase, and what they potentially are doing for the next phase. If we are going to get Bernthal as Punisher, it's got to be within the next couple of years. And I feel like the timeline that we had here, right here, you're looking Daredevil spring of 2024. That's almost 2 years away still. That's just under 2 years away for Daredevil Born Again. Bernthal's not getting younger, right? Bernthal's out of contract. I've got freaking blinders on, and this is going to be all me paying attention to Daredevil and spoilers and whatever's going to happen and go on. I am pumped. I am primed. I am amped, because whether it be Echo or whether it be Daredevil, I feel like this is Babe Ruth calling the shot, saying it's got to happen at some point, because if you look after all this is said and done, how are they going to weasel Bernthal in the MCU after this?
Yeah.
6 years from now? 7 years from now? I don't remember how old Bernthal is, and he's a beast. Now, don't get me wrong, he's healthy, he's a beast, but we all want Bernthal and we all want him now.
Yeah. Well, they said Feige said that Daredevil and Spider-Man are going to lead the street
Level heroes.
Yeah. But what about you, Ryan? Is there anything you're super excited for?
Well, I mean, I do like watching the different shows and whatnot. I think the next show to come out is the Hulk one, right? What's it called? You just had it up there now. I can't remember what it is. She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So and then like Loki, I'm real excited. I like the Loki series, so I'm kind of excited to see how if these shows learn from the first kind of set, and will they grow from the first set to the next kind of, I guess, season coming out of these different shows. Like Loki did, there was good and bad things you took from all the different shows. And so I hear that one of them has is going to have like 16 episodes. Is it the What If, or is it one of them it's going to have like 16 episodes? I heard. I can't remember which one it was. There was so much, like you said. But I'm interested to see what are these shows going to look like when they start coming out, and if they start capitalizing on the good things and change some of the things that folks didn't like.
Yeah, one thing I also want to see is I want to see more carryover between MCU storylines with the Disney Plus shows and then the movies.
Yeah,
enough to where you get rewarded for watching both, but I don't want to be obligated to have to watch all of it, because some of it there's a lot of material, a lot of media there. And we just talked a week ago about how a lot of these VFX workers feel like they're in sweatshops doing stuff for Marvel. And they're overburdened, underpaid, extreme deadlines. Huge thanks for the super chat right now, Cantankerous. But McClay, let me ask you this, because there's a lot of stuff announced. If you were to pick one that you think is really hyped, but which one do you think has a lot of hype that might just come in underperforming, underwhelmed? Is there one that sticks out to you that
I think Echo? I'll be honest. I mean, it wasn't announced, but I think the Echo one is going to be the one that might be underperforming. I don't want it to be, but unfortunately, I just feel like it is, and I think She-Hulk's going to probably be underperforming. And the main reason I think that is because I feel like I don't want things to be too funny, if that makes sense. I've got a real bad taste in my mouth over the whole Thor thing because I felt like they tried to make it too funny. They really took a lot out of it, and I don't want all my stuff just to be these jokes. You know what I mean?
You don't want to go sit under a lava fall with a rock?
Yeah.
Make a Dwayne? But one thing also that didn't get brought up, that there was stories about, that people thought that the Armor Wars was canceled because they didn't talk about it in Hall H, but there's since been articles that says Armor Wars is still going on, and Don Cheadle's going to have a big role in that. And God damn it, Drew can't just leave it with just text over the weekend. He's in the chat now talking shit about my Giants. But welcome, Drew, from Warner Comics. I want to also give a big shout out to Black Box Comics. He's in the chat. They got a book coming out tomorrow that's hitting newsstands, but I'm saving that for when we get to new comic book day picks. It's a book that we talked about on this very show a little while back. But yeah, let us know in the chat. What do you guys think about the Hall H? Is there one that you're super excited for? I'm excited as a comic fan. All this material that's coming out, there's a lot of great stuff there, but I'm also nervous because I have a hard time keeping up with stuff as it is. I still haven't watched all of Miss Marvel. So we're getting a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's spread over. What do we go through? I think phase 6 goes through like 26, 2025. So there's a lot to look forward to. And then it's like, who are going to be the directors for these movies? We already know the Russo brothers aren't directing any more Avengers movies, which is
a bummer.
I'm excited for Thunderbolts too. I think that's one of the ones that I've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. I want to comment on what Fred's saying here about the X-Men. So apparently the X-Men, even though that Marvel got the X-Men back, the characters that they had in the movie, the actors they had were in contract until 2025, and so there's a thought that they can't recast those characters unless, and so if they do a live movie, it would have to be with those characters. They would have to use the actors that were involved with that. I guess that those characters. So they're talking. I heard there's a theory, I guess, that they will use they could start introducing the X-Men with or mutants with characters that were not initially in the Fox version of it all. So I think that's where he was talking about with that. And then for the Thunderbolts thing, I'm real stoked on that because I want to see what iteration they're going to use. Venom's in a lot of those Thunderbolt runs, and like even right now with the new run, it has anti-Venom. So, I've been picking up, or I have that on my pull list, is that new Thunderbolt run, which is like pretty cool, and it has Cloak and Dagger and Weapon X and whatnot. So it's a cool group. So I'm really excited to see what that Thunderbolts is going to look like, and what iteration of the team they're going to use.
Yeah, I've also was it Thunderbolts? I forgot which one they're talking about. They could also introduce like Squadron Supreme. So who knows where they're going to go, what they're going to introduce. I did see Thor: Love and Thunder this weekend. I thought it was a good movie, but I got my kids are so interested in it that we started watching, phase 1 Marvel movies. And that's the part that I miss, is when those movies were so new, that level of kind of giddiness and energy that brought to you when we were first introduced to it, and wondering, man, where this could go. So I don't take what we have for granted. I just want to find something that kind of rejuvenates that energy with all this stuff that's coming out from a Marvel standpoint. I have huge hopes for Wakanda Forever. I know there's already people out there petitioning to recast Black Panther.
But if you're saying you like that, if you're saying you like that, like kind of like the unknown of how they're going to do things, I mean, then you are wanting like a Thunderbolts thing. Like you are wondering, like, because that's what's going to keep the anticipation going, really.
Well, I, for one, and kind of falling into that theory, like you guys and Fred were talking about X-Men 2025, this kind of makes sense when you look at this phase. 2023, 2024, street level, kind of tail end of 2024, kind of where are they going to go in 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and kind of beyond. If they're knocking out street level stuff over the next couple of years, this does kind of seem to fit. And back to Brian's original question about areas that are going to be underperforming or possibly underperforming, is I really think this Agatha Coven of Chaos is just going to kind of sputter.
Really?
I think that's like I'm with Amy. I think they're like, oh, we could do something with that.
I think that could be a Rocket Raccoon underdog tale that
same surprises
with people at the same time.
It feels like a coin flip.
Yep.
I think that this is the funny Marvel stuff, right? This is where we want to see the funny Marvel stuff. Catherine Hahn is fucking, excuse my language. Catherine Hahn is there's something, she has that charisma. I don't know what it is about her, man. I got a big crush on her when I saw her in the Wakanda, or I mean the Vision and Scarlet Witch series. She was the main character that I really loved, and I really like that character. I think that this should be the funny part of Marvel, and they should keep it to stuff like that.
I hope I'm wrong, but I am a little nerdy, like super nerdy. This tickles at my nerdy funny bone. Blade was one of the first original movies in the 90s, before I grew wings and left the house and became an adult, that I could buy and put on my old Gateway PC from high school and watch. Matrix and Blade, those first 2 original movies. So for them to come back, if it wasn't
for the original Blade, you wouldn't have an MCU right now.
Exactly. So that's part of that too. But I'm kind of giddy that they're going after this, and it sounds like, from what we've heard, they're setting a decent foundation. Like, I don't feel like this is going to disappoint.
Yeah. So, McClay, are you YouTubing the Amazon commercials with your Agatha
Hahn
girl doing I think she's doing the back to school Amazon commercials right now.
Oh,
right?
no, I haven't seen them yet. I'm gonna have to check them out now.
Oh my.
I'm pretty sure that's her, but yeah.
She's great, man. I
Talking
love
about the
her.
YouTube, the Will Clark fight. Yeah. They're about to retire Will Clark's number 2, so kudos to him for that. So at least there's something to be happy about being a San Francisco Giants fan at this time. So we're gonna flip that coin for a second. Marvel brought it, and then Warner Brothers had a little hip pack going on, and they're like, "Is that all you're bringing?" Like, yeah, and they pulled out 2 trailers for us, right? We got a new Black Adam trailer and we got a Shazam trailer. And
would you bring all this?
It's like cool. So with that being said, I am excited for both those movies, but you kind of expect so much more out of this DC reboot or whatever you want to call it. There wasn't anything about crazy ass groomer Flash.
That's because everything is still in Henry Cavill's trunk somewhere, not at the convention. Brian,
yeah, but I mean, the Warner Brothers. It's like it reminds me of like the old E3 days when you're like, oh, that's the Nintendo. But yeah, Shazam trailer is great. I think Dwayne's going to definitely carry the box office for that. I think you might, depending on, I'm hoping it's good, but that might be a movie where you see a huge opening weekend and then a big drop off from the box office, which we saw with Thor: Love and Thunder even. But Black Adam, Shazam, and then are we gonna set up the Black Adam, Shazam stuff that we know and love? What did you guys think of those trailers, and what would you have liked to seen Warner Brothers also bring to the table?
They really needed to. I'm surprised there wasn't a Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
that
you know,
a loss. That was such a loss because all the rumors. There was like rumors that everybody were excited about. You know, we're going to see a Henry Cavill thing, and yeah, that's the biggest thing. That was a big loss. That was a big L.
Yeah, and I mean, even with, you keep saying restore the Snyderverse, and it's obviously they're going to move into a different direction, but but what I don't even know. It seems like DC right now, I think there's some great books out there, but DC in general, or Warner Brothers in general, it's almost like just go straight to HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to see Black Adam in the movie theater, because I definitely do. That's one that I'm looking forward to. It's just you have such a catalog of characters there, and you see how Marvel, I don't want to say reinvents itself, which I wish Dank is out tonight. He wasn't able to make it, but that Marvel topic would have been perfect because, he's not a naysayer, but he's brought up good points of what you do, introduce time and death. It kind of goes downhill from there. So it would have been nice to get his input on everything they announced. But
well, I know that so everyone was looking to see, here's some like Superman news or something like that, or Superman, I guess, being in Black Adam or whatever. But
the Batman sequel.
Yeah, but I guess the director of Black Adam came out like
Colin Farrell series.
Came out a week before and said, "Hey, Superman is definitely not in any of this stuff." So, but they didn't really release that information until the day of, till Friday or Saturday, whenever they had their panel or whatever was going on. Yeah. So everyone's kind of looking for Superman, but they had already been confirmed that he wasn't going to be any part of any of that stuff. Or
yeah. I mean, there was just so much.
I mean, they're in such a tailspin. There's so much stuff going on there. No one has any clue what's going on with DC right now. I mean, the Flash things is all crapped out. What's going on with Wonder Woman? There's a lot of question. You would hope that at some point they someone puts the hammer down or puts the foot down, like, hey, okay, here's the direction we're going to go. Does anyone have an idea of the direction that they're going?
I mean, at one point, Jeff Johns was supposed to be their Kevin Feige.
Yeah. So, but that was at one point. What are they doing now?
I don't know, but I heard there's also a rift between Snyder and Jeff Johns where it's like Don't put him on the
they
credit
talked a
as a
bunch of
producer
crap.
on any of my shit type stuff. So.
Wow.
Apparently, Snyder was a pretty much a big D, with like threatening or being like, hey, just threatening on the stuff that he did. I kind of was trying to, and that's why they don't want to work with him anymore, because of how he handled it. He's just a big D apparently from what's coming out now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all subjective. We don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the other side of the coin, other side of the story. But man, I mean, I don't know a lot, but Batman is a favorited character from everyone. Everyone, or most folks like Batman. Most people know of her. The first superhero I ever fell in love with was Superman. That was the first superhero I ever like watched on movies and stuff like that. So I would love to see that whole thing put together, not being all discombobulated. And I guess with whoever it is that just recently purchased them, I mean, you would hope that they kind of straighten stuff up. But then right when they purchase them, you have the Flash dude going all ape crap, and then stuff going on with the Herd chick. And so it's like, man, they just gotta
see, and that's where what Marvel does well that Warner Brothers does bad is Marvel does great at storytelling to make people interested in B-level characters that you're not normally used to. They've done a great job of that. What DC, I think, could do that they haven't done, or Warner Brothers, so to say, is don't try to copy that Marvel formula, not even saying just the MCU style formula, but you have embrace the darkness, embrace the Black Label, embrace the Dark Knight, and quit giving us Dark Knight movies. We all know Batman. Give us something, get dark and gritty with some of those characters that you have out there. And if you do Batman, what about Night of Owls? What about some of those other branch off stories?
There's a
if
lot
they would
of
take
stuff that they can
a
get
lot of the stories that they do from their animated movies, they kill it in animated movies, but
DC feels the same as Sony to me.
Yeah,
it's like the same kind of like feeling, like you look at Sony stuff, and it's like without Marvel helping them through things, their movies that come out are subpar, and they're just like it just doesn't seem like they don't have a direction either, like with the Sony stuff, like the Sonyverse and whatnot.
From my outside looking in, they don't plan out where they want to go with stuff, and they just do what is right in front of them right now and put a movie up, and then they try to make them kind of stick together. We're like, we could tie it together because there was this one storyline here, where they don't think things out if they're going to try to do the universe. But if they try to do it now, you're kind of getting on the train too late, where we're already starting to see some burnout of stuff where it's going to be like, oh, they're just copying Marvel, even though it could be great.
And because they are kind of related to Marvel, it's like they'll try to dabble in what they're doing, and they're doing a little bit of this, and they're like, we have this up. Hey, Marvel, can you help us bail us out of this? Can you help us like straighten out this line? Or Marvel will step in and say, you're really, what y'all are doing is having an impact on what we're trying to do over here. So let's go over there and try to fix what you got going on over there.
Yeah, I'll never see Warner Brothers reaching out to Marvel for help us though.
Yeah, but it's more
Sony
like
does.
But I'm saying, like, I guess it's more like Marvel is like kind of like we're tied to them in an aspect. They're like dead weight. They're having to kind of fix things as they go along because it's affecting what they're doing in their world.
Like, I don't see them reaching out to help, but business is business, and they'll poach the shit out of a motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
Bring them over from Marvel to help them out that way, but yeah, I don't know, Andy. I know you're not a big DC fan by any means, but do you have any faith in Warner Brothers movies? Or put it this way, if you were king for a day, if you were the third Warner brother, I don't even know if there's two or what. I don't even know how that started.
That's like four of
them. If you were a
them.
Warner brother,
you're the Warner sister.
Yeah. What would be your like
a cousin?
Listen here, see, we're gonna make this movie.
See, what we got here? See,
what movie would you make? I think bring back Swamp Thing again. That series
Swamp Thing's awesome.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. But if you want to look at gritty, edgy, new, trying to capture the younger audience that's into manga and a lot of other things, why not dip into Dark Knight's death metal? Like, dip into that, dig into that storyline and try to put something together. It's gritty, it's dark. It was a decent read. It was a really good read, actually. I'm not going to lie. But to be honest with you, I just feel like every time we talk about DC and you look back over the last 10 years, it's just this floundering fish that somehow hasn't died yet.
Well,
I know.
and Ryan had a good point there. I mean, DC does that because they make a Batman movie because just the name Batman will get you somewhat of a box office. I want to see him make a great movie with some Damage. Let's do a Damage movie. I mean, I want to see him kind of. I don't know. I'm not a movie executive, but Warner Brothers has some room to make up on some stuff.
Yes,
I
they
do
do.
think Black
I mean-
Adam's going to be good. I love the first Shazam movie, so I'm looking forward to the next one.
The Flash thing could have been good. The Flash could have been like a cool. That could have been a really good, cool movie to kind of set the pace on things. But then you go to the fact like, okay, why didn't they use the dude from the show that everyone knows, and just expand upon maybe some of the other characters get capitalized, but why not? Why do they have to do a whole new Flash? Everybody knows who the one Flash is.
Yeah. Well, I want to see the Flash movie, and it has nothing to do with the Flash. I thought he was the worst Flash ever. He sucked in Justice League. He sucked in the Justice League extended cut. I mean, he looks like Corky from running around there. But I wanted to see Michael Keaton as Batman. I was excited because aren't they adopting the Flashpoint storyline for the Flash movie?
They're supposed to, and that's the other thing.
That thing's going right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't even have a booth?
No one knows what the hell's going on over there.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a booth at San Diego?
That's
What do you mean?
they're saying.
Fred said they didn't even have a booth.
Who, DC?
Yeah.
Yeah, DC didn't have a booth. Fucking A.
Holy
They didn't have
shit.
the like the food truck. What do they call that? The pop-up.
Yeah.
Well, they've done that before. Like Jim Lee has done, like in DC, they did like a DC pop-up for Jim Lee and stuff. I know Jim Lee was there. I saw pictures.
I mean, if you're DC, do you feel like if you're DC, do you feel like, well, if we go, we already got bad, press in there. Do we really want to go subject ourselves to that, or should they have been out there and just really like, hey, this is we're here, we're the other guy, the other dude or person in the room that people watch or whatever. How would you go at that?
Yeah, and I want Marvel even did their Disney Plus. How come we didn't get any HBO Max stuff from Warner Brothers? Where's this damn Green Lanterns?
Yeah,
show?
exactly. That's the only thing I'm sitting here going,
man,
that could be something that could change some stuff.
Screw this. Let's march the Capitol and march to their house.
But I don't know, man. Hopefully, where they have it, what do they call it? The Fandom.
Yes.
DC Fandom. Maybe they'll have something that they're gonna do their own thing. I mean, Disney has D23 where you still get a bunch of stuff. I was surprised, not to go back to Marvel again, but I was surprised that they shared so much Disney Plus stuff, because usually San Diego they would do the movie, and then at the D23 Expo they would do a lot of the Disney Plus from
When's
That's
Marvel.
going to be
again?
interesting.
So
When's that
I'm
again?
sure you get a lot of Star Wars stuff out of that at D23
September.
and other stuff. A lot of people are complaining because Deadpool and there's mature content on the Disney Plus app. So a lot of people are complaining that there's mature content, but you can set the damn ratings on there for kids accounts.
People are complaining now because it's on there.
Yeah, there's mature content on my Disney Plus app.
I mean, yeah. I mean, now that you're gonna have to like monitor Junior.
Yeah, Disney Plus turned to Disney X.
That makes me wonder. So when did Deadpool drop on Disney Plus recently?
The day after they announced it.
Yeah, it was like a week or so ago.
Is this a way to slow roll the Disney Plus viewership into, set your apps, make sure that your kids are, do what you need to do to set your apps, because here comes street level hero John Bernthal tearing crap up next year or the year after, and it's going to be lit.
Well, the Punisher, the Netflix Punisher show is already on Disney Plus.
Oh,
All the Netflix shows are on there.
Like,
damn.
But the thing is, you set your
Damn,
app, and then the kids you can't even watch.
It's going to be
The
that.
kids can't even watch Peter Pan, or they can't watch Pinocchio because there's like smoking in the cartoon from 1940s.
Wow.
So it's just
Well,
not.
they're definitely getting everyone ready to know that was that was almost like a big announcement or big news that they're letting rated R content onto the app. So FYI, you need to set your stuff if you don't want kids to watch this. And they put that, and they put what's the other movie that with Wolverine, where he's like Logan.
Logan.
You put that on there, And so they're just letting people know here's what's coming down the pike, that was historic because that was a Disney thing that they're letting rated R stuff into their world, if you will. And it was just to let the world know that, like, okay, we're doing this. It was kind of an announcement for Deadpool too. Like, okay, Deadpool's is here, and the next is coming out is rated R. So hold your nuts.
Well, we've been talking about this for basically the better part of a year. Is how does Disney make this shift over time, or are they just going to take this content and put it on Hulu or something else or whatever it was? And that was kind of a joke for a solid couple of months there. About I
think we had guessed right, and they were trying to do that to Hulu. It's just nothing grabs a hold on Hulu, it seems.
Exactly. So maybe we're seeing that shift where they're kind of slow rolling this out a little bit to the point where it becomes kind of in all ages, all access, whatever they want to put on there, whatever they want to own. And then people are setting either their apps or they're controlling it or not controlling it at all. I mean,
this love FX on Hulu though.
I got to check out that animated Spawn. We were Venom sent the animated Spawn pretty good.
Hell yeah, that was almost my introduction to Spawn. Was the old eight animated the 90s. That and Tales from the Crypt was the thing to watch.
Oh god!
Oh yeah,
I remember hiding on the stairwell down to the first floor from my bedroom upstairs, trying to peek out around the corner to watch Tales from the Crypt while my dad was laying there on the floor eating snacks and junk food when he was in his 30s and 40s. Watching that was a cool thing. I'm with We Are Venom here. HBO Max over Disney. I love HBO Max, especially with The Last of Us coming up here pretty soon.
I have HBO. I never really ever watched it that much. I have to look on there and see what's up.
I watch it every week. I find something every week.
I have to turn that on. I haven't. I don't even watch it.
I want something that I can. Fire TV doesn't do a great job of it, but now I have to search. Which is it on Peacock? Is it on HBO Max? Is it on trying to find the movies, especially if it's a general movie that's not, Marvel, DC. Hey, I want to watch this movie, and it's like, oh, and next thing you know, I pay for it, and then I find it's on one of these other apps I have for free. Like, damn it! But yeah, I will tell you. Have you guys one thing on Peacock? I watched. You guys know Kevin Hart, right?
Yes, fucking A.
So he has a new series on there called Heart to Heart, and he basically has celebrities come on and they have just a conversation for like 45 minutes. And they had Chris Rock on there, and he asked Chris Rock, he's like, hey, do you like it better back in the day when you did movies, or you're doing a lot of streaming movies and streaming content right now, which do you like better? And Chris Rock brought up a great point. He's like, I'll do streaming all day long, because when you're doing movies, you're like, oh, I got to do this movie great. And then you got a weekend or so to make a big impression. And then how long can I keep this movie in the movie theater? Where streaming, as long as my content's good, it's there forever, and someone can find it and someone can and go for it. So he's doing a lot of Netflix stuff. A lot of people are doing a lot more Netflix and Amazon and everything. We saw Terminal List. So I think streaming is a great platform. And I think we got a little taste of it during COVID, when it was like pissed the box office off because you had dual release, Black Widow and everything. But yeah, it was a great interview to watch, and there's a lot of great stuff on there from that Heart to Heart. But speaking of Marvel, McClay, we do have some Marvel comic news as well, right?
Yeah, we do. There was some new Spider-Man news that came out of San Diego. Well, not necessarily came out of San Diego. We all knew that Spider-Man was going to have his 60th anniversary coming up, and they're doing Amazing Spider-Man 6, which marks the 900th issue. And real quick, I got to be honest, they messed up so epically by changing the numbering. Been so cool to see 900 on the issue, just like it was so cool to see 1,000 on Detective Comics. But I digress. Like, the Spider-Man's anniversary is crazy. It's really, really cool. 60 years of Spider-Man, also 900th issue. Neil Gaiman's going to be doing a story in it, which is absolutely amazing. Really cool to see that. A lot of a new character is going to be introduced. Sinister Adaptoid.
Is that the character right there?
Where? Yeah. Yep. That's it.
It's Adaptoid. Yeah, it's Doc Ock. It's Craven. It's Sandman. It's
a Sinister Six, right?
Yep. It's he takes powers from each of the Sinister Six. Now, if I remember correctly, there was an Adaptoid back in the day that already did this, right? Now, is this just a new character doing it, or what? It feels kind of cheesy because there's already so many characters out there that do that. Super Skrull, Taskmaster, right? We've already got so many of these
Taskmaster
characters.
is the first thing that always comes up to me because it's closest to my memory.
Yeah, so there's like it's kind of weird. We'll see if it's just a marketing play, which most likely it is, but it's very cool to have 60 years of Spider-Man. 60 years of Spider-Man, and he's still Peter Parker at age 25 or whatever, which is cool with me. I'm cool with that.
We're seeing it in the chat. Spider-Man is garbage, has been garbage for a while for the past few writers.
You know who's hot after
Dan
Spider-Man,
Slott
right?
all on there. I actually did kind of like Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man. I think it's a hard person to write for, man. You got to find someone that's great about it, because how many damn Spider-Man stories can you tell?
Exactly.
One of my favorites was that Chip Zdarsky, the Spider-Man, the life stories one, where it showed him getting older and everything like that.
I heard.
It's really weird to say that I enjoy a Dan Slott story, but I agree. Superior Spider-Man was excellent. And I think one of the reasons why it was excellent is because they kind of went off the beaten path and wrote a good story. Now, it's very hard to do that. Don't get me wrong. It's not unless you're a really good writer, to pull that off, it can be tough. Sometimes you hit, what do they call that? Lightning in a barrel or something.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happened with Dan Slott, because I don't like the rest of his work. But I really loved Superior Spider-Man. So it's going to be interesting to see where, how it plays out. We're not just getting Spider-Man, though. We're going to get a Janice Vell Captain Marvel series, which is really cool to me. I'm a huge fan of Janice Vell. I love the way that character looks. I loved that character back in the day. Son of Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. Really, really cool character. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Then we're going to get the Ant-Man stuff, which is almost like an anthology type series about all the different Ant-Man throughout the years. So that'll be interesting. I love anthology books. It feels easier to write short stories sometimes than it does to write these big, huge, long, epic.
Yeah, Ant-Man ongoing just doesn't sell. It usually gets canceled after like 12 or 13 issues.
Yes. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. The Gambit series. Wild Cards, the drawing of cards. That's interesting. I'm sure it's going to have some killer freaking covers. And then we're going to get a Jessica Jones Daredevil romance, which is weird, but let's run with it. I wonder what Luke Cage has to say with that. And what's that?
That you're talking about the variants?
No, we're getting a Jessica Jones Daredevil romance, which they showed on one of the covers. So
I thought that was on the variants cover.
Yeah, it's right here, right on the screen, like the fourth
Luke
from the
Cage
left.
gonna be pissed.
Exactly.
Right.
That's weird. So,
Sweet Christmas. But
I think that the interesting part is that they held a lot of this for D23. A lot of information is going to be dropped on D23. So D23 is turning into another not miss for comic book fans.
Yeah. Yep. I don't even know what to think about this. Like every time I see Marvel or DC hit a milestone issue, my brain immediately shuts off, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of hype. There's always going to be a new character. There's always going to be something, whether it be a new writer, a new storyline, or a new character, or a new villain. But they never seem to kind of have, like right here, Peter Parker said, whatever happened to the Red Goblin, he disappeared fast. It always seems like if there's some sort of anniversary issue or anniversary thing that happens, it just kind of fades and is gone, and it's not very memorable.
Yeah,
that is the variants comic, that Daredevil thing. They just started. They had one issue come out, and that's the second issue. But
yeah, I mean, to me, that's a pure fandom buy, right? If you're buying from a fandom point of view, I don't put too much stock in an Adaptoid. Plus, 900th issue, man. I think there's 900 covers that are coming out. This comes out tomorrow, by the way, for New Comic Book Day. This is the Ant-Man. So, and a bunch of people put it in the chat already. It's the Spider-Man story. It's hills and valleys, but it seems to be in the valley a lot more than it's in the hills with the proper Amazing Spider-Man. I'm still more of a Miles Morales fan. Even Peter David's Spider-Man 2099 was one of my favorites to read, but I haven't been reading Amazing Spider-Man in a while. And like they said in the chat also with Kindred and everything that was going on. So I think I don't want to call it false hype. It's just, I think it's misplaced hype that we all get excited about for a character or something. And it goes back to the writers of the stories. They just they pull the rug out from us too much. And I am definitely not one that's saying put Donny Cates on Spider-Man, because
that's what I was going to say.
He's by any means.
He is Kate. Someone that knows Cates said that he has his eyes strongly on Spider-Man. He really, really wants to write Spider-Man.
But you're going to get Venom all over again.
Yes.
I don't know. He said it's going to apparently if he does Spider-Man, it's going to be a cosmic type of thing.
Yeah. Which yeah.
What does that mean? If he's going to do Spider-Man, it's going to be a cosmic thing. Spider-Man's not a cosmic character.
Yeah, but that's why
Black Panther, but they did that.
But that's why he did like Hulk. He did the Hulk in like a space type thing, and he's trying his focus.
Cosmic Defenders with Cosmic Ghost Rider and
a big space type battle or something like that. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. And so from someone that's like knows
the next Jim Starlin.
Oh man.
Cates can go to DC. I want Cates on indie books, man. I think that's where he thrives the best.
Agreed.
Anyways, Ryan, mystery topic of the night. What do you got for us?
He kind of took it a little bit. I was going to talk about like with all the things that that Marvel came out in Marvel. There's a couple of them that I'm really nervous, and I was going to see what future movie or run are you fear that they're really going to totally screw up? Like not totally screw up, but like let's take like for Thor. We saw Thor coming. I was like, man, that's gonna be badass. They're gonna do gore. It's gonna be that's a fantastic storyline. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen. Christian Bale's doing it. Oh, it's gonna be awesome because Christian Bale's doing the character. Man, I can't wait to see it. And you see it, and it's just like wah, wah, wah.
It was, but kudos to Christian Bale for what he still did with that role.
It was awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the movie. I'll go back and watch it. I'd watch that before I watched the multiverse thing again, for sure. And hands down. I enjoyed it more so. But I think that at least maybe for me, what I anticipated, it's going to be like, it's going to have a little sound effect on it. When I anticipated to see it wasn't quite what we were hoping for, and then maybe that's why things aren't as good, because when we saw Marvel movies back in the day when it was Iron Man, we didn't expect it to be much, and it came out to be a lot bigger than we expect. Now we expect a lot, and it doesn't really sometimes live up to our expectations. So do you think, like, I have one thing in mind that they said that's coming up that I'm nervous they're going to get it right, but I want to see if any of y'all pinpoint that.
Me personally, Brian kind of strokes that luscious golden beard of his. I'm worried about the MCU overall 100% over the next 10 years because of the simple fact that moi, have reached an age where I am no longer the target audience. So I feel like everything coming out going forward, I'm not really, once we get through this phase and the next phase, I'm not the target audience. I'm not going to be able to connect with the movies in 10 years like I did 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, or even right now. And it's not that they're screwing things up massively. I'm just not the target audience. That's a fact. You just hit that age group where there are less of you in your 40s and 50s and 60s, and there are more of those 20 and 30-year-old people out there that are really into stuff. And I feel like that's what I'm kind of concerned about. Is it's not necessarily one thing. It's that I'm getting older. Nobody's getting younger. We're all getting older. And I'm starting to realize that I'm hitting that point where when it comes to commercials, I don't know what's going on anymore. When it comes to social media, I don't even know like the acronyms anymore. like the acronyms that we all used to know and used to love, whether it be the military, whether it be
like,
social
what's
media, or
WAP mean?
or
WAP,
no,
whatever.
seriously, there's some stuff hitting out there on TikTok. I'm scrolling around like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I'm like, uh-oh.
Is there a place you think that's for you anymore?
Here with you guys, with
That's
Yeah,
a
comic
great
make it
community.
answer.
light.
That's a great answer, brother.
Yeah.
That is a great answer. I mean, like it's where we can all, get off our lawn together.
There's,
Would they call that a circle? No, I guess not.
No,
Something
no.
different.
We're too old for
I
that.
would say one that's not recently announced, but I think, this next Guardians movie is going to end the Guardians that we know. And I think the Guardians movie that comes after that, I think will I don't think it'll carry the weight that it does. I don't know. There's been rumor of going towards the older team that was from the earlier comics, but we know we're coming to an end of that trilogy, and that a lot of that team that we're used to, that we fell in love with James Gunn, which is another thing they could have talked about in the Warner Brothers freaking panel. But that's the one I'm worried about. I think I'm excited to see Volume 3. I'm excited to see the holiday special that James Gunn's doing. But what's going to come after that? Is James Gunn going to be attached? And then what's going to be the drop off to that next Guardians?
Yeah.
Brian.
I think the Guardian stuff is going to be very interesting because they have a chance to really knock it out of the park depending on how they play it, right? Because they can introduce a ton. Like, why was Guardians so great to begin with? They introduced a ton of really cool, hip, new characters.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. All those characters in that first Guardians were like cool, hip, new characters.
It's that generation Star Wars to me.
Yes.
That nostalgia tug too with the music. And it seems like after Guardians hit the first Guardians and they rolled into the second, it seemed like that was a big trend in social media where a lot of that music out of the 60s, 70s, and 80s that kind of progressively trended. But go ahead, sorry, man.
That's what I'm getting.
My aunt watched my kids put Guardians on. I visited my aunt in Richmond this weekend. My aunt sat there and watched the movie and got into it because of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know what's this raccoon guy? Is he like, what's he doing? Is he like a leprechaun or something? And I was like, she's sitting there watching the movie and got into it. And like, we're like, we should go to bed. But she's like, no, let's finish it. And I was like, wow. So, yeah.
So I'm looking at Secret Wars and thinking, man, I don't know if they're going to do that right. I think Secret Wars is like...
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying Warner Brothers could have capped out on the James Gunn coming to Peacemaker. And I think he said he's got even 3 other shows he's doing over there. We know Harcourt, his fiance, whatever, is going to be in some of the spinoffs. But
yeah, I just think that Secret War. I'm like, man, because that is an iconic thing. And everyone's been kind of looking at it and looking for it. Man, I could just see it's just, it's going to be hard to get that same feeling. People are going to watch it and be like, man, this ain't Secret Wars. This is Poo-Poo Wars.
Poo-Poo. Yeah.
It smells like poo.
Well, Secret Wars could be that place where they introduce Doom. They introduce Miles, like in a real way. I'm not talking about like an end credit scene type thing, right?
They could. There's going to be a lot of things. It could be really good, but if they ain't done right, it's going to be really bad. That's why I see that in the future. Like, that's the one, because there's too many things, moving parts on that one. And I just think that that's going to be a hard one to, if they do it, it would have to be done really, really correctly.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I had. Right? I didn't want to. A lot of the stuff that we talked about was more based around the. I was going to bring up was more based around the what we kind of discussed. So I don't want to rehash things.
Yeah. That's just going to bring us also to New Comic Book Day.
Uh-oh.
It's a light week for me. There's some titles that I'm looking at, but I'm probably just picking up not that many. Andy, I know sometimes you have a pool box the size of, I can't say those words right now.
A pool.
But, yeah. What are you getting tomorrow, Andy?
The Grand Canyon isn't even big enough for my pull box this week. For Lord Almighty, I am so screwed. So we are.
Give us the highlights then.
Oh God!
Even
something is killing the children. Has a 1 in 250, a 1 in 100, a 1 in 75, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 20, something like that. It has one of everything. And I was trying to drop all of my books down to just cover A for reading for the summer, and I forgot that I was sticking with Something is Killing the Children. And now I am stuck with a massive pull list bill. And I don't know how I feel about the covers. Like that, like right there, that one, Brian, right next to the white one. That should be like the 1 in 250. That's a spot foil variant that is gorgeous from a retailer. But if you scroll down, you've obviously got the face mask ones, the Jenny Frizen. That's the 1 in 25 peach Momoko. That isn't terrible. The 1 in 100 next to the 1 in 50 actually looks. I love the way this looks. That 1 in 100 looks really good. But then here's the 1 in 250.
I like this one right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unlockable.
That's the 1 in 25 Ji Hung Lee. But the 1 in 250, that's going to be the big dollar book. That's not going to.
This Ivan Tao one is great too.
Yep.
So what's the difference in the ratio on the one with the girl with the clean face and one with the blood on the face? Is there different?
Those aren't necessarily ratios. They're cover. Well, they're variants, but they're not ratio variants. They're cover price variants. Until you get to the one where there's a standard mask variant, then there's a bloody mask variant, and then there's the one without the mask, and that's like the 1 in 50. So anything with a mask is a cover price variant. Anything without a mask is generally a ratio variant. Like the bloody one without a mask all the way to the right, that's probably the 1 per store. Yeah, the unlockable 1 per store variant.
And then the one to the left is without the blood is like
1 in 50.
150. Okay.
That's how Boom Studios has been doing it. And
that's so they can boost their marketing for COVID masks.
We are this is the beyond 2 years for Something is Killing the Children. Issue 25 months besides breaks. We're 2.5 years from the start of Something is Killing the Children, and they're still putting out like 1 in 250s, 1 in 1. I don't know. The reason why I hung on to this one is there's supposed to be a new character. It's supposed to be, I'm like 3 issues behind, so I can't remember if this is a new story arc or not. It's supposed to be pretty big.
Yeah.
But that Tao one, McClay, if you can show that Tao one again. Oh my Lord.
It just bounced out.
Okay.
Yeah, the Tao one is nice.
Yeah, that one's like primed for remarks. That's the one I'm picking up, and that one apprises 80% of my pull list is just Something is Killing the Children tomorrow.
Oh man.
Wow.
I don't even think I'm going to do a show because I'd have to do a show on my channel of just Something is Killing the Children. I don't know yet. There's some Star Wars titles too there.
Yeah, the Star Wars stuff is a little interesting. This Dr. Aphra cover is gorgeous. Just the A cover, beautiful. Like that's a gorgeous cover right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. And then the Pride variant's a little interesting too. It's not bad. It's not terrible. So that's cool. The Star Wars Obi-Wan stuff is like, what a great cover that is, man.
So are you still collecting the Sprouse lightsaber variants, Andy? Yeah,
I actually, people are kind of sleeping on these a little bit. Like, I granted, they're not for everybody. They're kind of like action figure variants, but here's the big deal, right? The Han Solo and Chewbacca issue that had Ahsoka, we're not far from the Ahsoka show, and people slept on that, and that was heavily underordered in my opinion for the Star Wars fandom, and that book is still sitting there at cover price or less. And I'm like, that's like, I'm paying close attention to these Choose Your Destiny variants for the key characters that are going to be coming up in shows and coming up in movies over the next year or two, because I don't feel like people are ordering these things super heavy.
They're not that great.
Yeah, there are some that aren't. The Ahsoka one was really good though.
Yeah, and I like some of the Sith ones. What about Detective Comics 1062? This is one that I'm going to be picking up just to read the new series. We've got Ram V writing and Raphael Albuquerque doing the art, which is awesome. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Let's take a look at the variants here.
I'm disappointed as Ram V. I thought he was good, man. He's sucking.
His Swamp Thing was great, man.
He did decent on Catwoman stories too.
Yeah,
he sucks at Venom.
So yeah, check out the Ram V stuff. I like that detective. It's plus there's supposed to be a total. This is supposed to be like a really off the beaten path storyline. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is there? Like I said, the Genisville stuff I'm going to look into. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff this week, but I think I'm going to keep it nice and easy and just grab a few.
Mitch, I know there's a lot of people that are looking forward to that Gambit stuff.
Yeah. Where are you getting tomorrow, Ryan?
Boom.
Ooh.
Venom's coming out tomorrow, so staying with it. I want to check out the there's a 1 in 25 variant that I found in a store that has one in my area. So I'll be picking up that one along with the.
Is that a Liefeld cover? Look at that chest.
Yeah.
Check the feet and let's see. Yeah,
that's that Liefeld Captain America cover.
That's what brought me there.
That was never a cover. That Captain America was never a cover.
That's
it was a
cover.
Preview.
Yeah,
it was a preview image in a wizard.
Yeah.
So that one, old Stegman art. I don't know some of the
Ivan Tao right here. Wow.
Who did that?
Wow.
Ivan Tao. Ivan Tao is like.
That's like. Sorry, man. That's like what Peach Momoko should have become.
His eyes cool too.
That's like the next evolution of Peach Momoko right there.
It's good, man. It's really good.
Get the version one of that. See what it looks like.
I kind of want that.
Yeah, that's who put that one out.
Couldn't tell you.
Does it say? I think the other one's unknown. I believe that purple one.
This is Sabine Rich right here.
Ooh.
Yeah, they got some good looking covers for this one at least. The covers are outdoing some of the stuff that's going on inside.
Yeah.
I'm also picked up that variant. That's why I knew that was that cover, because I picked up the number 1 of that just on a whim. Like I was like, I'm gonna check what this is about, and I'm gonna try to read the story, kind of see how it goes. Variant number 2 comes out, and that was one with the girl who's dating the Daredevil. Down at the bottom or whatever. Variant just down.
Ooh, Magic Order is back.
What are you talking about?
It's called Variant. The variant.
Vanity?
This is the wild cards.
Second, right there next to Venom, right to the left of Venom.
Oh, Jessica Jones is experiencing terrifying blackouts and leaving chaos and pain in her wake. But will the latest effects of her missing time leave her on the wrong side of the law and her own family? Meanwhile, the mysterious variants arrive, and Jessica fears for her own safety.
So I picked up number 1 of that. It was just kind of starting, but I wanted to see what it was. Just a whim buy, and so that's the second one. I want to see how it does in the story.
That sounds interesting.
This one's pretty interesting, also, right? Here's that House of Cards one. Wild Cards, George R.R. Martin story. He did Wild Cards years ago with, I forget which publisher, but Marvel decided to pick it up. So there you go. What about you, Brian?
Gotta stay true to my buddies, Drew Zucker, David Boer. We get that Kanto, the second issue for that. So that's kind of like that one-off story, right? Still amazing. Kanto's been great, continues to be great. There's some great store exclusives for that. I know they had some on Whatnot as well. So kudos to David Boer, Drew Zucker. I'm waiting for some of that animated movie news.
Yeah,
I know Will Smith's licking his wounds there, but his production company for that animated movie should be churning and burning on that.
Well, he just got a $35 million movie deal recently this week, so shouldn't be doing too bad.
Yeah. Another one, Black Box Comics was in the chat earlier. They got that Ninja Kaiden #1 book that comes out tomorrow.
Ooh, I want to see
Black
that.
Box? They still in the chat?
You just pass it down 1, right? Up 1. There.
Ooh, yeah, I like this.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about this like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah. So that
looks
out
badass.
Tomorrow. So guy inherits his dad's company, and the suit lets him talk to the ghosts and stuff. So it's kind of supernatural. Awesome. Snake eyes.
Hey guys.
Kind of reminded us of Honor and Curse from Mad Cave a little bit, but some great covers for that as well.
This has got Ghost.
Ivan
Ghost in
Tao
the Shell.
again. Look at that.
Yeah.
This has got some Ghost in the Shell vibes too.
Yeah. Then
Which
there was,
anime manga related.
Like
another
like
one.
Lawnmower Man.
It was by Opus Comics. It's called Cradle of Filth #1.
That's a band name, isn't it?
There you go, right there.
Mitch, you gonna send anything off to get great signed by Scotty? He's buying some Scotty Young stuff there.
There's a couple cool variant covers for it as well.
Ooh. Okay. Damn.
Like that Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
total band related. Look at the logo.
That is Cradle. Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Cradle of
Yeah.
Filth?
It's got to be. Yeah, it totally is.
Oh, it
100%.
is.
That's a band. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Cradle of Filth. Yeah.
That's Cradle of
Look at
Filth.
the price tag.
Sick. That's cool.
So metal.
And
they're
I
like
forgot who it
jerks.
was. Someone was in the chat. I remember the new Disturbed comic comes out tomorrow, and someone in the chat says, even if you don't like the band, the comic's been great.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the band's terrible. God.
Wow.
Disturbed is doing.
I'll tell you what, though. I worked security at one of their concerts at the Norva in Norfolk, Virginia,
Wow.
like when they were really big, and they did put on a good live show. I worked barricade for them, and it was a fun show. But yeah,
That's good. I'm glad. At least I know. At least you know. At least I heard that it was a good band. That's. Yeah,
so
can't
and that's
do
all. That's all I got for New Comic Book Day.
Very
So-
cool.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat what you guys are picking up. In the meantime, that's just going to leave us with one more thing. Andy Beardo, what do you got? You got some good stuff coming up, right?
Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Oh my God. Do we ever? I've got some major announcements coming up. We started trickling some of those over on our YouTube channel. We kind of took a summer break for a couple of weeks. We're back. Check out the Comic Man Indie YouTube channel for those announcements. The big one more thing I have for this week is C2E2 is just around the corner, and we are pot committed. We are going from Wednesday or Thursday to Monday. We're going to be there for the whole thing. We're going to be there the entire time. I am stupid excited to be a part of that. And the CEO of the Comic Dojo down here, she's going to try to cosplay on Saturday. So we're really excited because we've gotten to the point where she's going to go her way. I'm going to go my way. And I'm going to feel like we're going to have a ton of fun because I love you, babe. But you got to do your thing sometimes too.
Heck
That's
yeah.
awesome.
What do you got,
Yeah.
McClay? Beyond Wednesday?
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and talk about Beyond Wednesdays. Everything got changed. Thank you to everybody that subscribed and helped me get to 1,000 subs, get me monetized. Now everything changes. Over the next month or so, we're going to be putting out a bunch of new content and new stuff and changing up the game a little bit over there. So thank you to everybody that's helped support me, and appreciate you guys.
Yeah, kudos, man, because bold move, Cotton rebranding at 1,000, but I think it's a great move.
Yeah,
And I think the name makes sense. I know you had that. You said from the beginning that initial name was kind of a temporary, and I think you've settled on one. That's perfect for that, for your channel, because you have touch on everything. So there's a whole bunch of good content on there. And like I said, you're like the Iron Man of YouTube. I think you got a live stream going every other day.
Yeah, I mean, the content is crazy over there. We've got all the comic stuff, all the collectible stuff. We even got my podcast I do with my best friend called the Bogcast, which is a little bit more commentary and fringe topic based and music based. We've got the Hot 10
I
show
just
over
wish
there.
you'd stop doing them at damn midnight and shit when my old ass can join in on your fun.
Yeah, dude, it's fun being over here on the West Coast, man. We get
Same
to stay
with
up
Mel,
late.
man. He's like, come on, Drunken Chat. And I'm like, it's like 5:30 in the morning. He's like, hey, come back on Drunken Chat. And I was like, are you just getting done? And I was like, he's like, yeah. I was like, bro, I just woke up. I was like, your stuff's so late. I sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you to everybody. It's awesome, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I did a lot of networking at San Diego. that is going to change a lot of stuff for the better too. So really, really looking forward to the future and everything to do within this community and the content creating sphere. So
I love your channel art, by the way.
thank you,
Yeah.
brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate
That is
it.
dope.
Yeah. So we'll see how it works out.
Yep, I got doing some stuff with Rhinoverse on Facebook. I'm starting to inject more music-based topics as well, because that's kind of my other background is music, mostly metal stuff. So I'm going to be going to see a band that's just are some friends of mine. I recently got signed called To Whom It May. You check them out. To Whom It May, a really good band based out of Galveston, actually Texas, but they're national now and do a lot of touring with. They're signed by the singer from Candlebox, of all people, but he had his own label, and his first label, I can't remember what the name of it is. They signed To Whom It May, and they got some other established acts on the label as well. But they're going to be playing Saturday night, so I'm going to go check them out here locally. But so I'm sharing some different music stuff, like recently talking about some of the new Slipknot album coming out pretty soon, and then also Mudvayne concerts that has already come through town as well. So if you're into that kind of stuff, like metal and like music and comics, and sharing some card stuff, check out Rhinoverse on Facebook and all your other major platforms.
I used to work security at a bar in Virginia Beach called Peabody's too, and they would either get up and coming bands or bands that are kind of come back down, and Candlebox played there. It was also a great concert, by the way. And then down in Virginia Beach, the FM 99, the rock station there, they have Lunatic Luau every year, and it's $9.99 for a ticket. And 1 year, their lineup, I swear to God, was better than Ozfest. They had Zombie headlining, and then you had Mudvayne before that came on right before them, and then you had there was Papa Roach, Kill Switch Engaged.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, holy cow! Like $9. I'm not even working this one. I'm going to drink, and it was
hell
awesome.
yeah.
So
yeah, the Mudvayne thing I'm real stoked on, because they've been on a hiatus for about over 10 years, I think, and didn't think they'd be getting back together, but now they're going pretty strong. I've been keeping up with each show, and they're looking like tough. Chad's voice is a little bit off. It looks like it's starting to get strengthened and starting to get his calluses back. So it'll be. They come through here in August, so I'm stoked to go see that.
what happened to their super band? Hell yeah, was it right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Their drummer. So their drummer was Vinnie Paul, and he passed. So when he passed, it kind of just didn't have the same vibe. I think they have members from a band called Nothing Face. The guitar players from Nothing Face and bass player, I believe, as well.
Great band. First two albums Nothing Face put out, next level. Everyday Atrocity, one of the greatest metal albums of all time.
That was the first national act I ever opened up for, was for Nothing Face, and I got to hang out with them a bunch and talk to them after that. But once Matt died, I was sad when I heard Matt died. But yeah, so Vinnie Paul, he passed too, and then the band just never came back together after that.
Yeah, of course, Virginia Beach, when I was working there, was late 90s, and it was punk was big on the scene too, like MXPX, Face to Face.
Yeah, I was just thinking about
Pennywise.
NoFX, or not NoFX, but the Descendants, man. I was thinking about the Descendants the other day. I love the Descendants. I people listen to them. They're a good punk band.
Yeah, so I pretty much used up my time for one more thing. I will give a shout out again to channel sponsor John at D616 Comics. Check them out. They got a bunch of, if you like Ivan Tile variants, he's got a bunch on his site. But most of all, also, we rib each other. He's a crappy, shitty Dodgers fan, but Drew wanted comics. That's Comics with an X. Make sure you guys check out his site as well. Both those sites not only have exclusive variants, but they sell regular comics up there. So if you're looking and want great customer service and good shipping, make sure you guys check out wantedcomics.com and the616comics.com. Thank you so much for everyone in the chat. Great conversation. Again, let us know in the comments if there's a topic you want us to discuss on here. I know we had one that brought up the upcoming movie Prey, so maybe we'll talk about that, the good Predator stuff coming up. But, either way, thank you guys. Thank you in the chat, and we will see you next week.
Look. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers, all my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin it watching reruns. Say they real.